NATO has accused China of rapidly expanding its nuclear arsenal in secret. Russia's brutality dominated NATO talks, but Beijing also featured as the military alliance laid out its security strategy for the next decade. Our political reporter Andrea Crothers filed this report from Madrid.
NATO world leaders signing off on a 10-year security strategy, skewering Russia as the biggest threat to peace and stability before blasting Beijing. The military alliance declaring China's ambitions and coercive policies challenge our interests, security and values. It states Beijing's malicious hybrid and cyber operations and its confrontational rhetoric and disinformation target allies and harm alliance security. Put simply, NATO is accusing China of hybrid threats just short of war. The alliance's latest security blueprint goes on to claim Beijing is rapidly expanding its nuclear weapons in secret. It's a stark contrast to the last document of its kind, where China didn't even rate a mention, and Russia was listed as a strategic partner.
China is not an adversary, but of course we need to take into account the consequences for our security when we see China investing heavily in new modern military capabilities, long-range missiles, nuclear weapons, and also trying to control critical infrastructure, for instance 5G networks in our own country. The strategic concept will reflect that NATO is changing when the world is changing. That's why NATO is the most successful alliance in history, is that we actually are able to adapt when we need to adapt.
China has lashed out at the military bloc for reaching into the Asia-Pacific, strengthening ties with Australia, New Zealand, Japan and South Korea. A group of partner countries which were all in attendance at the summit for the first time.
What they should do is give up their Cold War mindset, zero-sum games, and stop doing things that create enemies. Stop trying to mess up Asia and the world after messing up Europe.
Anthony Albanese's response, simple.
China must look at what is happening, look at the resolve that is there from throughout the world, and should be condemning Russia's actions.
It's been a whirlwind couple of days for Anthony Albanese, meeting with at least 20 world leaders, both formally and informally. He'll wrap up these talks in Spain with a bilateral with Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau before jetting off to Paris for the all-important relationship reset with Emmanuel Macron.